Everybody's excited to have you on the show, man. And so when I talk about, so I got some questions. I'm coming straight out the gate with it. I know we pressed for time here. So my first question is this. This is my first question. Cause like I said, man, you know, I'm at the feast and I hear this. So I'm like, who is that? That's John Boye. And I hear this. Who is that? Oh, that's John Boye. And you would think that, you know, as an artist, you would have a kind of a what's the word I'm looking for? A similar style. Like you have a certain style that when I hear, oh, I know that's John Boye. Like I'm good with voices, and a lot of songs I do hear, I can pick up on it now. But there's a lot of versatility or different styles in your music, right? It's a lot of and you make a lot of music. So my first question is how are you doing this? How are you putting out music at such a high volume? What I mean, what do you? I mean, like you have.
What's the secret, man? What's the
like you have a studio next to your bed, or what you doing? Like you sleep in front of your computer or something?
Man, partly that, man. It's a passion. You know, when you love something so much, you want to do it consistently. Like when I was growing up, man, I wanted to play sports. I was hoping to be a football player, but I was enjoying them workouts and them training because I knew what it all meant. It all meant. It was building me up to be a better football player. So I enjoyed all that stuff, all the strenuous workouts and all that. And coming into this walk, man, it's the same thing. I found this passion for the Most High, and I'm so, I would say, I got this enthusiasm about something that I like. It's a grand enthusiasm, and when I get something I like, man, I go 100 with it, and that's the result. So. Yeah, man, that's what it was. It's me finding something that it was bigger than life for me. It was bigger than football. It was bigger than, you know, whatever I was enjoying at the time, man. I just kept going because this was a thing that kept me connected to the Most High. So every time I didn't do something, I felt like I wasn't connected. So continuing in that helped me and my family grow more. So
I understand that. Like you understand, like, you know, most, I ain't gonna say most, but a lot of melanated men, I try to refrain from using the term black. And if you want to say brown, I'm down with the brown because, I mean, I got a box of crayons. My skin tone is much closer to brown than it is to black. But when it comes to melanated men, you know, a lot of us can rap. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know, my album is backed by popular demand and I never dropped the album. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna drop my album when Dr. Dre dropped the Detox album. You understand? So, but what I'm saying is, like, I understand that. Like, I understand the passion for doing it, but the volume, like, how much music you putting out on a monthly basis, like, bro, like, you dropping an album every quarter.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? DMX, I think one of the best lyricists to do it. You know, his style and everything complete. He dropping every 10 years. His albums are, you know, they mean. I don't ascribe to his music anymore, but when I did, you know, just lyrically from a lyrical standpoint, DMX is a very skilled artist, and he dropping every 10 years, and his hit, dude, you dropping every 10 minutes. Like I'm just trying to understand, like what, like I understand the passion, but. Why not space it out? Why so much? Like you got that much in you. Like what is it that you putting out albums back to back to back to back to back? Like why not save some of them or something? Or, you know, what's your motivation? What's your drive to? What's your thinking, your logic to put out so many albums back to back to back to back?
Well, it's to me, I look at it as competition. I know we compete for souls at the end of the day, and if I was to slack on my end, I feel like the team is slacking. So, and who we competing against is these guys with this trap music, even, you know, some R&B songs is now like trap music now. So I wanted to put my best effort toward gaining these souls back, because I know music is the biggest thing on earth. Music is everywhere. Music can travel faster than anything you could ever do. I remember some brother was like, "Hey, why you don't street preach that much?" I say, "Man, I drop an album. I can go drop an album right now, and it'll be traveling throughout the United States with the same message as being on the corner." Now, I'm not going against people who preach. I'm saying my gift was, let me do that. That's what I'm gonna do for the team. I'm gonna put it in perspective, a little more perspective. Michael Jordan, he's shooting a lot of shots. People like, yo, why you limit your shots? No, I'm gonna shoot. I'm gonna keep shooting, because the more I shoot, the better it's for the team we can win. And that's my logic on it. And for the most part, man, it panned out.
Hey, you know what? That's a much better answer than I expected. I tell you that, and I appreciate that answer. I appreciate that answer. Like that make a lot of sense to me, because I really was questioning that. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, I'm like, man, you know, and so I guess my other question with that, and you kind of touched on it a little bit. I guess it kind of explains this, but because my other concern was, I'm saying, how are you going to maintain quality if you putting out so much volume? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm saying, for me, I'm into the lyrics. Like, you know, so like I said, I do music here and there. I'm not on nowhere close to, like, you know, putting out albums or nothing like that. I do it. It's a hobby. I do it. You know, I like to do it from time to time. Make music for me and my friends. But, you know, for me, putting out quality takes time. And so, do you ever, like, is that not a concern for you to maintain a certain level of quality at the same time keeping up that same volume?
It was a gift. The Most High gave me a gift. Ain't no sense in not using it consistently. That's all that is. Just to sum that up. He gave me something, I'm gonna use it.
So is it a thing like kind of like building muscle? Like the more you do it, the easier it is to maintain a certain level of quality?
Oh man, definitely. Because I've been rapping for years, and once I finally like found this passion to like really do it, and then I found out people was listening. It boosts my confidence in doing it. But the more I did it, the more I realized how easy, you know, a format. I found a format for me, and it worked perfect. I can do a song, and it will come out exactly now how I vision it in my head. As you being an artist, you know, sometimes you have a vision, and then you go to the booth, you're like, yo, man, it ain't. Yeah, exactly. But it don't come out sometimes
on the speakers the way it sounds in your mind. That's the
exactly.
option.
Now I can do it with my eyes closed, and it took years though. But I got better and better at it.
Okay, I can dig that. I can show enough dig that, man. So that's a blessing, man. And I appreciate that passion you have, and being diligent with your craft and working on your ministry. So, with that being said, let's shift over into the ministry aspect of it. What are your biblical influence or your godly influence? What's your message in your music, and what are you trying to say through your music, or what are you saying through your music?
Man, it got levels to it. I mean, the overall, I guess I can give the overall. The overall is to come back and find a culture and find something beyond of what we've been taught and what we already learned and what we really, you know, enjoy doing. Some things that we enjoy doing is not necessarily right or righteous. We're trying to bring back that positivity through the music. I do look up to Pop is one of my favorite artists, and how he did it influenced a lot how I do it. It's the same way, but I don't have to kind of so thug like what my son can do. You know, because I think we kind of play both sides to the max. So I play both sides, but I don't put myself over in that other lane so much that it kind of jeopardizes the message. But yeah, man, overall, man, it just brings, you know, just to try to influence brothers and sisters so you can still be good and righteous and still have a blast in life. Like, you don't have to cut corners to have fun.
If you ever in the ditch, your elder can't hold me. Nope, I'm as real as I can get.
I think I know.
You ain't ever heard a Hebrew spit like this. You ain't never heard a I go and spit like this. Gotta be something over here look different, close to the most. We don't deal with the distance.
Well, you know, at first, this is what I prayed. I earlier radio shows, I told people I prayed for. And I had prayed that when I first got into it. And I prayed over my talent. I said, give me something. Like, I want my music to really influence people. And I said, I wanted to touch the people in the truth, stay in the truth. That was my first prayer with the music. And then after a while, people calling me, and people who were in jail, people, you know, they was like, yo, man, I really appreciate what you're doing. I had a brother brother from Chicago picked me up. It was an elder. He told me one of the young dudes out there. He said he been trying to get him to come to the church and learn and teach him stuff so he can get into the walk. And he said he played some of my music for him. And he said he started coming to the church every time. He was affiliated with the body. And whatever the body was down there. And that stuff like that, it changed my prayer. My prayer became helping people in the truth, stay in the truth. I have a bigger obligation, I felt, to get other people that's not in the truth in the truth. So it changed from being preaching to the choir to, going out. Like Christ said, he kicked it with the sinners. So with that type of mentality in my music, I went through them to try to bring them in.
We gon' keep it going. Push it, push it, push it, push it, push it, push it, push it. Push it, we ain't never gon' quit, we ain't never gon' quit, we gon' keep it going, yeah.
With the mainstream, have you had any issues or anybody trying to get you to sign to go mainstream? Have you had any offers from the Illuminati? That kind of stuff. People talk about all kind of stuff, so let's just get it out there.
Push it, push it.
Well, look,
push it, push it,
the two people I came in contact with, it didn't work out, but I came in contact with the guy from the Clip. He had changed his life over. No matter. Yeah. So, he was from Madison, no matter. So, being in contact with him, he was short-lived, but, we was trying to get me on his radio.
Oh yeah, I seen them going in conversation about that. He don't really, they don't rock. They Christian to the core.
Yeah, man. So this is what I've been doing though. I've been trying to once I knew that we ain't getting in these lanes. I know Kendrick Lamar album. I'm gonna make it short, but I know Kendrick Lamar album was basically an Israelite album, and I said, we can do it, but we cannot do it the way we've been doing it. We cannot get in there and put too much doctrine in the music, or they're not going to accept it no way. We're not going to be on no platform where they can acknowledge us if we do it that way. And if y'all notice, man, Kendrick Lamar, I ain't heard nothing since he did that. They put the pressure on him, but that album went 3 times platinum. That was an Israelite album. So understanding that we have the ability, if we get on them platforms, to do stuff, but we're not gonna be able to get in them lanes. But we got to make our own lane. So that's my whole point of that.
Making our own lane. Because I was gonna ask you too. Because trying to get on those platforms, are you concerned with compromising? Because like Kendrick Lamar, I didn't listen to the album. I heard some of the stuff, but I would consider what he does is a bit of a compromise, and I just don't think we can compromise. When it comes to our service and our diligence to the Most High. So is that a concern of yours if you get on that platform, or do you think they're going to try to force you to compromise, or do you think you can compromise to a degree, or what's your take on that?
I believe you would completely compromise. I had mentioned about, Tupac having thug life on his stomach. I wouldn't want to go that far, but I know it would have to be a compromise. It would have to be some type of sacrifice or something to reach that type of level. And at the beginning, I'm like, let's just do it because we getting the message out. But now that I know more, I'm like, well, nah, because they get into deeper, get into your rights as a human. You signing over your rights as a human to a regulator. That's everything. Yeah. So you can be a prisoner to that without being in prison. And you definitely have to compromise, even if it's a little bit. You would have to compromise something. So I wouldn't do it. So I know.
For that reason, you saying for that reason you're no longer trying to pursue those platforms, but like you say, rather create your own lane.
Exactly. Yep.
All right. So you now when we digging into it, you create you going down this path of creating your own lane, which is some people say the hard way, but I think the payoff is much greater. What message do you want those who listen to your music? What would you like to say to them now? Push it,
We ain't never gonna quit. We ain't never gonna quit. We gon' keep it going. Push it, 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 push it.
just to try to reconnect them back to something that we think we believe in, but actually show. What I do now too, man, I talk about scientists, I talk about nurses and doulas and farmers, like all that is incorporated in serving the Most High, and I don't think we highlight that type of stuff. So with the music, the message would be, don't drop your talent to serve God. Serve God through your talent, no matter who you is or what you do. Use that to serve the Most High, and I think that's how you build a nation. You can't build a nation by stripping people of their natural born gift that the Most High gave them. That's the reverse of building a nation. That's how they got us in this position. They don't allow us to be us. So, and we don't allow ourselves to be ourselves. Even in our bodies, even as Israelites, we are stripping each other from our talent. Telling people, okay, you go be a deacon, or you go be we giving these titles, which is cool. I mean, that's all well and good, but you're not allowing the people who are naturally talented to do something. As a guy knows astrology, we know how to do stuff. That's good. The harvest and the good. We would have a better grasp on life and how to serve the Most High better.
We can taste it so near. Success is a blessing, but we never gonna share. Why? Cause we know we gon' win. And if you do nothing, then we know when that's a sin. Got some Israelites that's really down for West Styrofoam cup, double cup, then pour it.
Use our certain ourselves in the world. Then we come to Most High. Understand taking the time out, get your right, then build up in the word, and then you can utilize yourself to serve the Most High.
Push it.
I'm opening up for
we ain't never gon' quit. We ain't never gon' quit. We gon' keep it going. Push it.
I was just gonna say, man, everything
push it.
We're saying, you know what I'm saying?
Push it. We ain't never gon' quit. We ain't never gon' quit. We gon' keep it going. Yeah.
You know, Christ is the truth, but we'll get into this, you know what I'm saying? And then we'll end up just, people. And can you explain like the thinking of that song? You know what I'm saying? Like how you came up with that song like that? That's a tough song. You know what I'm saying? That's a real good song.
Praise. All praises, man. And I know it may be hard to believe, but all the songs I ever did, it comes from a place. And I don't remember all of them, but once they mentioned it, I can kind of relive it. But Real Jew was very prevalent, man. I was researching things about our upcoming. This is at the beginning of the walk, towards the beginning, and I was seeing stuff like back in the 1400s and 1300s. They was calling our people Israelites. They was calling our people Jews and Judah, and understanding that it put everything in perspective. It was lining everything up, and I made the songs. They knew who he was. They knew from the jump. When we was in Africa, they knew before we got records. We don't even have certain records that would justify some of our teaching. We don't have those records, but we still teach them through the spirit of truth. But those type of things that alluded to us being the people was way back. We don't even talk about stuff before, stuff like when the Jesuits was being made and all that type of stuff. We was there even then. So knowing that, once I understood and researched stuff like that, it came to the conclusion, it ate me up, and I'm like, they been new. they know they've been there. We the real Jews, and that's where that song really came from.
All right, Brother Corey, you had something?
First off, bro, I want to say I appreciate you coming on and gracing us with your presence and,
Oh, no doubt, brother.
Basically, filling us in on your music career and your journey and everything. One of the questions I had was, what would you say has been one of your biggest struggles throughout your journey in terms of balancing your music career and your family life and everything like that? Because a lot of people in the walk, they have this side where they're doing what they do, and then they have family and everything else, and it becomes a struggle to balance it. So what would you say has helped you to maintain balance with everything?
Man, at the beginning, I wasn't making no money from it, and it was a struggle on the family. But, my wife, she's super supportive, and she saw how passionate I was and how, my character changed. It didn't change too much where I was somebody she didn't recognize, but it changed. And when she saw that change for the better, I was able to kind of get her to look into what I was doing and see how I was operating. Because I didn't bash her over the head with it. I didn't say, okay, I'm in this thing now, you gotta follow. I was like, look, this is what I'm doing right now. Because I was going through some stuff and everything. I didn't want to be like, okay, you always something. You always, so I didn't want to put her through no pressure. But her seeing how passionate I was and how, how things were going. She was there, man. Like I say, the money was tight, but I made room to serve the Most High because the scriptures say, seek the kingdom and all things shall be added to you. And slowly but surely, man, things start piling up for us where I can make music and not take so much time away from, going out and making money. So, if I can make a $500 instead of going, doing some Minuteman job that week, if I can make that $500 for making music, she was like, "Oh yeah, that's good. That's good now." so man, it changed. So the balancing act, really, man, I honestly, to me, through the Spirit of the Most High, it wasn't tough at all. Like I said, I had a beautiful support system. So, and she knew that this was something that could save me. And when she realized, like, oh yeah, he got to do this, and it was easy. It was easy. I ain't had that many kids back then either, so it was a little easier too.
Children life real.
Yeah. Another question I had was, man, this is probably gonna go back. I remember a track you had, I think it was maybe 2012, 2011, and the hook said something along the lines of, "We gonna have it all once it ends." Some along those lines. My question is, to this day, what would you say is one of your biggest hits, or what's one song that probably got you the most feedback or the most created the most ripples for you? What would you say that would be?
Man, I think the first one will be Keep It Together. I think that really hit all camps. It hit people in the street. It hit everybody. That Keep It Together track. Now, me personally, I didn't think that was my best song, but people was enjoying that song so much, and I'm like, well, that really kind of pushed, the envelope with the notoriety, especially with the brothers and sisters. Yeah. But I say after that, man, that Winter Sorrow and some other stuff was going to underground websites, and I was in there with people, doing shows in New York and stuff like that. So, but yeah, man, that Keep It Together, I think, was the biggest one. Because of how many people came to it from all camps, from everywhere, and even Know Thy Name too. That one too, man. That Holy Name. That was pretty big too.
Man, praise the Most High, man. That's all I had.
All right. Well, I want to ask something on that same line while we on that, right? So in that same vein, what song did you do that has the most meaning to you? Like what song that you really came from something that came from within you, or something that has the most significance to your life?
It's two songs I remember doing. One of them called Emotional. We ended up we was bad in our luck, and we had to go stay with my wife's mother for about maybe a month or two, and talking to the brothers in the street and trying to convince them and stuff like that. The reason why I said we had to go stay with her because the quality was so bad on it, but I still did it. I was up in the attic. It wasn't cohesive to do anything in that attic, but I did it anyway. But talking to the brothers in the street and hearing them expressing that how we can be great and we can do this and do that, they like, no, we in reality right now. You can't tell me about how great we were or what great things we're about to do when the only thing I can focus on right now is making $30 to $40 real quick because my baby needs parents. There's nobody who I can rely on. And I couldn't tell them, oh, you a king and he needs $30 or his baby, she gonna starve. It was hard. It was hard for them to accept that. So I made a song called Emotional, and it was one of the, man, like I was crying rapping it. I was crying while I was rapping. And so man, stuff like that. And Dust too, man. And Dust, it was a realization of no matter how, people was giving me praise, man. I'm talking about, man, they were trying to recruit me to their camps and all types of stuff. And understanding all that love, I'm like, yo, this is deep. But then something hit me. I forget what the exact moment that it hit me, but it something hit me like, this don't mean nothing. Like I'm really not nobody. If you really knew me, you like, yeah, you just an average dude. But getting all this love and praise, I wanted to kind of humble my own self. And then I was going through something happened where I reflected on Dust, and I was crying on that one too. So I'm a big emotional dude. And then another thing too. People was around that time. People were like, man, this brothers and sisters in the truth and the walk, or what you want to call it. They like, man, you shouldn't be emotional. I'm like, we need to be more emotional because that'll allow our kids, that'll allow our wives, that'll allow our families to better understand. We can better understand each other and grow if we do show more emotion. So as a man, learning that, I put it in my music.
So now you said the name of the song is what? Dust?
Yeah, Dust.
Spell it. I'm not understanding.
D-U-S-T.
Okay, Dust. Yeah, D-U-S-T. Okay, yeah. And with the emotion thing, I agree. I mean, God made us with emotions, right? The Most High gave us emotions. Mm-hmm. And, we as men, we're supposed to control our emotions, but that doesn't mean that we can't show our emotions or have them.
Exactly.
One thing, because people a lot of times say, oh, you're getting emotional. Okay, what's wrong with that?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Emotion. Like, it's one thing if I'm letting my emotions get the better of me, or I'm letting my emotions control me, I'm acting out through my emotions. Scripture says, be angry, but sin not. It don't tell you not to get angry. Mm-hmm. So
exactly.
I'm with you on that one. And so you just touched on something. I was going to save this question for later, but since you just went there, I'm going to go ahead and pose this question to you because this was always a concern of mine, always been a concern of mine, right? And talk about the praise and adoration of men. And so I've always been concerned that, if I pursue, anything that could get me that kind of praise and adoration, can I handle that? Will I be able to be humble? Because I know that Christ, he stayed away from fame, even though it was almost impossible because he was healing people that couldn't walk for years, giving people sight that couldn't see for years. And so the fame grew, but he never relished in that fame. He would always give honor and glory and credit back to the Most High. He would say, listen, don't tell nobody what I did. He wasn't, yes, come to me and praise me. And he said, why call me good? There's none good but the Father.